You watch the men who refuse to bend, the ones who chase their vision without apology, and part of you wants that life badly. What you do not see is what it took from them. You imagine the strength and the success and the respect, and you skip right past the price tag, because no one ever shows you that part. They show you the result, never the receipt. And so you sit there, wanting the outcome, while quietly unwilling to pay what the outcome actually costs, wondering why you stay stuck in the same soft place, year after year. The hard truth is that the life you envy was bought with sacrifices you have not yet agreed to make. Everyone wants to be exceptional until they discover what exceptional demands. You want the discipline, but not the deprivation. You want the results, but not the ruthless choices that produce them. You want to stand apart from the crowd while still enjoying every comfort the crowd enjoys, and it does not work that way. It has never worked that way. To become something more than average, you have to give up the things that keep average men average. And most people, when they finally see that bill, quietly put it back down and return to the comfortable life they claim to hate. They wanted the destination. They just would not pay for the journey. Look closely, and you will notice that the people around you do not actually want you to change. Your softness makes them comfortable. Your staying the same confirms that their staying the same is fine. The moment you start becoming harder, more focused, more unwilling to waste your life, you become a mirror they do not want to look into, and they will resist it. Friends will call you distant. Family will say you have changed, and not as a compliment. The very people closest to you will, without even meaning to, try to pull you back down to the level where they feel safe, because your rise exposes their stillness. The philosopher Nietzsche understood this better than anyone, and he did not soften it. He wrote that the man who wants to create must also be willing to destroy, that becoming who you are requires breaking who you were. He saw that growth is not addition but transformation, and transformation means the death of an old self, which is never painless and never clean. You cannot become the harder version of yourself while keeping the softer version intact, because the two cannot occupy the same body. One has to die for the other to live, and that death, the killing off of the comfortable man you used to be, is the first real cost nobody warns you about. Understand what that death actually feels like, because it is not poetic. It feels like loneliness, sitting in the gym at dawn while everyone you know is asleep. It feels like turning down the night out, the drink, the easy fun, and watching your friends drift toward people who will say yes. It feels like being misunderstood by nearly everyone, because the choices that build an exceptional life look strange and excessive to people building ordinary ones. The hardness you are chasing will isolate you before it ever rewards you, and that isolation is real, and it is the tax you pay long before the results ever arrive.
Here is a psychological truth that most people never grasp. The discomfort you feel when you push past your limits is not a sign that something is wrong. It is the exact sensation of growth happening. Your mind is built to protect you, to steer you toward comfort and away from strain, and that ancient wiring will fight you every step of the way, screaming that you should stop, rest, return to ease. The man who becomes hard learns to hear that voice and move anyway, to treat his own resistance as a compass pointing toward what he needs to do. The comfort seeker obeys the voice. The savage overrules it every single day. The cost shows up in your relationships in ways you do not expect. When you decide to stop wasting your life, you inevitably create distance between yourself and everyone still committed to wasting theirs. You will lose people, not because you wronged them, but because your new standards no longer fit the old dynamic. The late nights, the aimless hanging around, the shared complaints about a life neither of you is willing to change, all of it becomes intolerable once you have decided to actually build something. And so you drift from people you genuinely care about, paying for your growth in severed connections, which is one of the loneliest prices anyone pays. Then comes the cost of relentless responsibility. The moment you become the man who takes ownership, who refuses excuses, who holds himself to a brutal standard, you can never again enjoy the comfort of blaming the world. Every failure becomes yours. Every setback lands on your shoulders because you have decided that everything is your responsibility to fix. This is a heavier way to live, and there is no putting it back down once you have picked it up, because you cannot unsee the truth that your life is yours to build or waste. The excuses that once protected you are gone, and their absence is a weight you carry constantly. You also pay in comfort, permanently. The hard man does not get to coast, does not get to indulge freely, does not get to let himself go and call it relaxing. He lives with a low, constant demand, humming beneath everything. A refusal to accept less from himself, even when accepting less would feel wonderful. While others sink into the couch guilt-free, he feels the pull of the work he could be doing, the standard he swore to hold. This is exhausting in a way the comfortable will never understand, and it never fully switches off because the drive that makes him formidable is the same drive that will not let him rest easy. Now weigh the other side, the cost nobody talks about, which is the cost of not paying any of this. Refuse the sacrifice and you keep your comfort, keep your friends, keep your excuses, keep your easy evenings, and you pay for all of it with your entire potential. You reach the end of your life having risked nothing and become nothing, comfortable the whole way down. And that bill, when it finally arrives, is the heaviest of all. The price of becoming hard is steep, but the price of staying soft is your one and only life, spent in full on nothing. And that is the trade almost everyone makes without realizing they are making it.